Hello, handsome developers. Today we are going to build a very exciting MERN stack project, and the project is a social media application. By following this project, you will learn a lot of concepts related to client side as well as server side. The best thing about this tutorial is that throughout the development, we will use the practices that are implemented in big stack companies that have the huge scaled apps. These practices are how to design folder structure, how to maintain app for future upgrades, how to keep code readability clean, and many more. Now let's talk about the skills that you will learn during this MERN stack project. For client side, you will learn how to make your front end design very cool and exciting look just by React and CSS. How to implement controlled input forms in React. For more, how to manage your global state using React Redux library. And how to use React Router version 6 in your modern MERN app. As far as backend is concerned, you will see how to perform useful functionalities by connecting with MongoDB to your app. Of course, we will use Express Server and Node.js on the server side. For authentication system, we will implement the JWT authentication. You will also learn how to perform routing on server side professionally. I am going to divide this project into three parts. In the first part, we will complete the front end design of our social media application. In the second, we will build a REST API. And in the third and last part, you will see how to integrate the server side with the client side and complete the job. So I think now you have a lot of intro. Let's go to perform action in editor. Until I roll the intro, make sure you hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon too for the future tutorials. Let's start. So here we are in a blank VS Code directory. And generally we start a React project by typing in terminal npx create react app just like this. But the problem with this command is that it installs too much extra stuff that we never gonna use. So to avoid this problem, I have made a link for you guys. You can see this link in the browser. You can visit this link, just copy the URL. I will provide the link in the description, and in the terminal write git clone and then paste the link and just hit the enter. So now it will install our starter pack for this project. Okay, so here are all the files. I will go to this directory. So reveal in file explorer, open this and just open with code. Yeah. So here you can see we have the files. In the SRC, I have an image folder. Inside the image folder, I have some images that we will use during the project. And beside this, I also have an app.css. In app.css, I have declared some variables that we will use during this project. And these variables are just some colors and the shadows and gradient. Okay. Now, to start the project, we generally write yarn start, just like this. But here you can notice one thing, we have no node module inside this directory. So this project will not start. As you can see, if I hit enter, nothing will happen. So to start this project, first just write yarn and hit the enter. So by hitting this command, it will install all the dependencies that are required to run this project. So all the dependencies are installed now. I am using yarn instead of npm because I probably assumes that it is faster than the npm. Okay, so now you can just write yarn start and your project will start. So here you can see our project has been started and it just have a text subscribe ZAINKEEPSCODE, a very basic text. You can notice this inside the app.js. I have just written this text subscribe ZAINKEEPSCODE. Okay, there should not be a space. Okay. So now what is next step? Our next step is to install the font that we will use during this project. So to install the font, I will go to the Google Fonts. So just write Google font, and here inside the Google fonts, so here I will search a font name as Inter. Okay, so now for the Inter font, I will choose its three variants: the regular, the semi bold, and the one bold. Yep. Now with these 7 variants, I will make the whole project. So to install this in our project, just copy this whole text here and paste this text inside the public directory and index.html just below this meta tag. Okay, here we have pasted this. Now if we see the text will not be applied, our text is not changed. So why this not changed? Because we have not declared the CSS for our app. So just below this link I should format this. Okay, now just below these links I am declaring style, and for the style, first of all, for the whole body I am pasting some styling from the Google font. Here you can see they are providing syntax to declare this font. Here I will just paste this. Okay, now if I save and then see, here you can see our font has been installed successfully. Now you can notice the default React app has some margin around the body of app. So to remove this gap, or you can say margin inside this body, I am declaring the margin as 0. Now if I save, and you can see now there is no space between the boundary of screen and the text. It means now we are ready to make our app. Now I am going to open the pre-built version of our social media app so we can have a look and have a reference what we are going to code next. So here you can see we have our pre-built version. Before going to build any page for our social media app, you can notice that every page in our app has something common. And the common thing is that the background color of every page is same, and these two light blue blurs are also same in every page. So let's first define this. Okay, now I'm going to open app.js, and here I'm just closing this, making this bigger, and let's remove this. Okay, here I will make a div for the first blur, and similarly I will make another div for the second blur. Okay, so I am giving this a class name of blur, and similarly the class name of second div will also be the blur. Now I am as importing app.css in app.js, so I can declare the styles for app.js in app.css. So here my app.js, I am opening it side by side, and now I should small text. Okay. Here, first of all, I will target the most parent class app. Okay, now for the app, as is the most parent div of our social media app, I am going to define some rules for this. I will say the overflow will be hidden, and the color of every text inside our social media app will be this variable black. This black variable we have defined here. You can see that it's not a pure black, but something like blue color, a very dark blue. Okay. Now after this, I am going to define some background color of our app, and the background color just look like this. And our app will also have a padding of 1 rem and also 1 rem from bottom and top, left and right. Now let's save this. Okay, if we have a look, as you can see that now this is the color of our app, and as we have nothing inside our app, so the overall area the background is covering is very small because we have nothing inside our app yet. Here I am declaring style for our blur divs. For the blur divs, first of all I am making their position as absolute and the width of 20 rem for each and the height of 14 rem for each. Now the border radius will be the 50%, means they will be like the circle blurs, just like this, and they have a color which will be defined in the background like this. Now let's save and see. Here you can see we have a circular div with a very light blue color. Okay, here I will declare a property name as filter and I will give filter a blur of 72 pixels. It will be enough. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful the blur is looking now. Okay, after this, our task is to position each blur to a perfect position. So for this, again, I will go to the app.js and for both of the blurs, I will declare some styles. And here for the style, first of all, they will have a top and the top of first blur will be minus 18% and the right value of the first blur will be 0. Similarly, for the second blur, the top value will be 36% while the left value will be minus 8 rem like this. Now let's save and see. Here you can see we have successfully made the two blurs as we have in the pre-built version. This one and this one. Now they are ready for use all around our app. Now I am going to make the home page of our social media application. So basically here inside src I am going to make an other folder with the name pages and inside the pages I will make an other folder for the home page. So basically as we know that inside the home page there will be two files home.jsx and I should make the H capital like this and the other file will be the css of our home file. Okay, so let's make it. Now first have a look at the pre-built version of our application. Here you can see that basically the home page is divided into the three sections: the profile side, the post side, and this trend side, or you can simply say the right side. I will go to the JSX and here I will write RAFCE, the fatter function of home page. Okay. So here I will make a div with the class name home and inside this I will make three divs. Left side as we know that is the profile side and similarly the post side and the last one is the right side. Now I should move the home.css towards the left side. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, first I'm simply writing here profile and here the post and finally the right side. Okay, so let's first import our home page inside the app.js. Okay, so here I will write our component as home. Okay, it will be auto imported. Now let's save and see is there any difference. Yeah, here you can see the profile, post and the right side. Now it's time to style the structure of our home page. So I will just simply go to the home.css and here I will target the home class and I will say the position of this page will be relative. The display will be grid and similarly the grid template will be the column and columns will have the alignment of 18 rem, auto and 20 rem. Okay, so basically what is 18 rem? 18 rem is the size of our profile side, this side, and the center side has the width of auto while the right side has the 20 rem width. Okay, now I should provide the gap between these three sides. So I will just simply write the gap 1 rem. Here I will import simply it as home.css from the same directory and let's see the results. Here you can see they are in the column direction and have the widths we want. Okay, it's time to make the profile side first. So here inside the src I will make another folder and I will say it as components. Inside the components I will make another folder and I will call it as profile side. Inside profile side similarly profile side.jsx and profile side.css. Okay, so profile css should be on the left side and here I will just simply say RFC and I will make the text bigger. Okay, the parent div will have a class name as profile side just like this and it will have a text profile side and in the home I will simply remove this and import our component profile side. Yeah, like this. Now let's save and see. You can see that there is nothing different because we have the same text. So if I make it something random, and you can see changes here. Okay, so it means it's working. Now let's observe the profile side components. Okay, here you can see our first component is a search component. Below this we have a profile card, and in the end we have a following card. So basically we will have three components inside the profile side component. So let's just make them one by one. Our first component will be the search component. So I will say logo search. As we have no such component in our directories, so first make it inside the components folder. I will make logo search, and it will again have logo search.jsx and logo search.css. Okay, so CSS on the left side, and here write RAFCE, and our parent div will be, as we know, that div.search like this, and it will have text logo search like this. Now let's import this again by suggestion. Let's save this and see the results. Here we have the logo search. Okay, further making the search component, let's first make the styling for our profile side. Okay, so inside profile side.css here, so here I will define its styling as profile side class, and it will have display flex direction of column, of course, because it has three components in column, a gap of 1 rem, and align items center, and finally the overflow will be auto. Okay, now let's move on toward the logo search.jsx. Inside this, first I will have an image. It is inside the src folder. Here the image folder, it will come along with your starter pack when you clone the repository from my link. And here you can see I have a logo.png. So this is what I need. So simply inside the source I will say it as logo, and to use this first I have to import it as, let's see if it is imported. Yeah, here it is fine. Okay, now along with this I also have a search input. So I am just making a search div, and inside this it will have a text input. Let's close this. Okay, the text input will have a placeholder of hashtag explore. Okay, below this I will have an other div for the search icon, and I am importing this icon from the icon scout library, and it is called as UIL search. Okay, so I think I have to import it manually, or let's try. Okay, I think I have to import it manually. Okay, so I will call import UIL search from @icon scout react on icons. Okay, let's save and see. Here we have our text input and a search icon. Let's style this. So I will simply go to the logo search.css. Here first of all the most parent class logo search, and it will have a display flex and a gap of 0.75 rem between the components. Okay, so basically there will be a distance between the logo and a search input. Okay, I think now you got the point. Below this I am targeting the search div and making it as display flex and a background color of my variable of input color like this. Now let's make it bigger. After this I am giving it a border radius of 10 pixels, and similarly the padding of 5 pixels. Now to see the results I have to import the CSS inside the JSX. So simply from the same directory logo search.css save and let's see. Here we have the results. Okay, it's time to remove the outline and give some color to the icon, and we have a lot of stuff to do with this input. Now inside the search div, I am targeting the input. Okay, so I am giving it a background color of transparent and a border of none, and similarly the outline of none. Now I think it will fix our input with the outline issue. Yeah, it has fixed it. After this, I am targeting the search icon that we have assigned as S icon, and in the S icon I am giving it a display flex, align item center and justify content center, the basic styling. The background color will be linear gradient, so like this. I have a border radius of around 5 pixels, yeah, like this, and a padding of 4 pixels for this div with the color of white. Okay, now you will see the difference between the previous and this new icon, that the background div will have this beautiful gradient, and I should make it hover as cursor pointer. So I will just simply copy as icon, and here I will say on hover the cursor will be like the pointer. So yeah, now it's looking pretty fine. It's time to make the profile card inside the profile side. So for the profile card, I will again go to the component section. In component section, I am making a component with the name profile card.jsx. Of course, inside profile card, we have two other files, as one is JSX and other one is the CSS. So let's make it. Okay, I am opening the CSS on the left side while the JSX on the right side. Yeah. So first of all, write RAFCE and then just save it. And we have to import the profile card component first into the profile side to see the results. Inside the profile side, just below the logo search, I am importing the profile card component like this. Let's save and see the results. Okay. So here we have the text profile card, means it is imported successfully. By the way, in the pre-built version, you can see this is our profile card which have two images inside it. Okay, so let's go to the profile card.jsx and make the most parent div. So here I am making a class name profile card, and inside profile card, first of all, I have a div for the images. So I will say it as profile images, and inside profile images we will have the two images. You can see the first one is the cover image and second one is the profile image. So first of all, let's make the cover image, and I am importing the cover image from our images folder as images folder, and inside image folder cover.png like this. And similarly, I am also importing the profile image, and I will say it as simply profile like this. Okay, so I will have two images, so I'm just copy and pasting it, and first of all I am writing as cover, and second one of course will be the profile one like this. Now let's save and see the results. So here is an error. It's saying there is no such image cover.png. Okay, so if I just change its extension from PNG to JPEG. Okay, so the problem is here I am also importing the same, so I will make it as profile image.jpeg. Let's save. Okay, so here we have both the images. It's time to style both of them. So first of all, I will target the most parent class profile card. Okay, the inside the profile card div, as you can see, we have all the other elements in the column direction. The cover image, the profile image, the name of the profile, and these followers and following, as see they are in the row direction, but as a whole they are in a column direction with respect to the card, and at the last we have this link. Okay, so let's first of all style the most parent profile card. For this I am making the border radius 1.5 rem, the display flex, the flex direction of column, and the position relative with the gap between all the items of 1 rem. Okay, now to see the result, first of all, I have to import the CSS inside the JSX. So from the same directory, profile card.css. Let's save and now see the results if there is any difference. Okay, still there is no difference because we have not defined the width of our images. So let's style it more. First of all, I will target the profile images div. As you can see here, we have the profile image and the cover image inside the profile images div. So I am targeting it, and again I will make it as position relative, display flex direction of column, line item center, and justify content as the center. Now you can see they are in the column direction and we have not defined any type of gap between them, so they are just attached with each other. Now let's style these images individually. So I will first of all target the first cover image, this image inside the profile image. Let's see how I will target this. I will say inside the profile images I have the image tag. As you can see, there are two tags inside the profile images. So I have to specify for which tag I am talking about. So I am targeting the first tag. You can target it as nth of type 1. So it will target the first image tag. Okay, now for the first image, I will make it width 100%. Now let's save and see. Now you can see our cover image is having the width of our profile side div. So it's just taking the as much space as available for our profile side. Okay, now I will target the second image, the profile image. As you can see in the pre-built version, the profile image is relatively small, so I will declare its width at 6 rem and it will have border radius 50%, means it will be a total circle with the position absolute. As you can see that here our profile images, they have the position relative, so it will be absolute relative to the profile images. So if I save and see, here you can see our profile image is looking very good. Now it's time to position it about this direction. So to position it here, I will make it bottom minus 3 rem and the box shadow of profile shadow that we have defined in app.css. So I have made its bottom minus 3 rem because you can see its width is 6 rem. So I want it half in the profile images div and half outside of this div. So therefore I have made this bottom minus 3 rem. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful this is looking, but we are unable to see it completely because our app.jsx is not defined as the height 100% or the height 100 view height. Okay, so it will be clear when I define some new elements below this profile image. So therefore I will go to the app.jsx and below this profile images div, I am making a div with the name profile name. Okay, inside the profile name, first of all, I have the name of a person which have its profile, and then below this, I again have a span, and this span is as the status of our profile senior UI UX designer. Okay, now let's save this and style this first. So I style all the elements step by step so it will not confuse you at the end. Therefore I am doing styling side by side. So here first of all, profile name div, and inside this display flex and the flex direction of column. I know we are using too much flex direction column, but this is the need of our or, so therefore line item center and the margin top of 3 rem will be enough. So why I am giving it the margin top of 3 rem? Because our profile image is at the bottom side of minus 3 rem. It is taking a space of 3 rem inside the profile name div. Therefore I am giving it a margin top of 3 rem, so it will be shown as completely. Okay, after this I am giving the gap between the status and the name of 10 pixels. Now let's save and see. So I think styling is not applied on our profile name div. Let's see why it's not applied. So here I have, okay, I forget to place E. So let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful it is looking. Now I will first target just the name of our profile. So I will say inside the profile name, target the span and the span length of type 1, as I have targeted the image, and I should open the word wrap. Okay, let's make it bigger. Okay, I think now it will be visible, and I'm giving it a font weight of bold. Now let's save and see. Here this is defined properly. It's time to make this followers and following. For this, again I will go to the profile card.jsx, and I will make an other div for the following status. Here I will say div dot follow status, and inside this I have an HR. As you can see that in the pre-built version we have this line, so I am making it as HR inside the JSX, and then I again have a div, and inside this div I again have a div of follow. Okay, you will understand this structure as we will complete this, and or we will use this in our CSS. So for now, just follow this along with me. After this, I have a span for the total followers, which are almost okay. I think it will be enough. And then I have another span, which is just saying the after this, I am making an other div, and I am giving it a class name of VL. VL means the vertical line. So here you can see we have a vertical line. It is not a predefined tag in the HTML or the React. We have to make it by the CSS. So therefore I have just defined a div for this, and these are already defined in our HTML that how to make a horizontal line. Okay, after this vertical line we have this following. So I will just copy this div, and after this VL I am just pasting it, and inside this span I am just saying 1, and instead of following there will be followers. After this we again have a horizontal line, this line. So for this as you can see I am making an again HR tag just below this div. As you can see, if I press Ctrl Shift P and go to matching pair, then it is closing here, and I am writing the HR after this. Now let's save and see. Here you can see we have no vertical line, but we have two horizontal lines because we have to make vertical line by the CSS. So now just go to the CSS. Here first of all I will target the most parent class, the following status. So here you can see the follow status. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so here I have made the comment of follow status, and I am targeting the most parent class. I am making display flex direction of column, line item center, justify content center, and I am giving a gap of 0.75 rem. I will not repeat the explanation of display flex in every tutorial again and again, because I think you probably have the good idea about how the flex box work. Okay, so now let's save and see if it is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, after this, as you can see in our follow status, I have an HR tag. So I will target this as follow as the HR tag inside the follow status. So I will make it a width of 85% and giving it a border of 1 pixel solid, and I have this horizontal line color inside the app.css. Let's save and see. So here you can see these two lines are looking beautiful now. After this, I am targeting the div inside the follow status. You can check out it here, the div inside the follow status, and I am making it as display flex and a gap of 1 rem. As you know, by default the flex box have a direction of row. So I am targeting this div, and this div will have a flex direction of row. So this div, this vertical line, and this div will be in the row direction that we want. Okay, so after this I am making its width of 80% of our total profile card, and justify content spread around, align item center, and now let's see the results. Here you can see as I have made the align item space around, so they are on the corners of our profile card. I am targeting the follow div. So follow is two times, one here and the other one is here, but the styling will be the same for the followers and following. So I'm making display flex, direction column, gap of 0.5 rem again. Item center and content center. Let's save and see the action. So now they are in the column direction. The first span inside the follow will have the weight bold, and the second span will have a color of gray and the font size of 13 pixels. Let's save and see. Here you can see now there is only one thing missing, which is the vertical line. So I will target the vertical div and I will make it as height of 150%. And to make it appear on our application, I am making its border from the left side 2 pixels, border type solid, and the color is again of our horizontal line. So now let's just save and see. So here I am noticing one thing, that we are unable to see our vertical line. So why this is happening? Okay. So after debugging, I have found that I am not importing our profile site.css in our profile site.jsx. So therefore, this is just an overlay issue. So if I go to the profile site.jsx, and here if I import our from the same directory profile site.css, and if you see that we have also a gap issue in our flexbox, this is also because we have not imported the css. So just save and now let's see. You can see our vertical line is visible and now we have a clear gap. Okay, if you remember, we have made a border radius for our profile card, but it is not showing because this is a very sharp border of our profile card. You can see that there is no border radius is applied. So why this is happening? Although we have applied the border radius in our profile card, you can see that the border is 1.5 rem. So this is an issue with our cover image. So to fix this issue, I will make the overflow X as the clip. Okay, so after making this, now you can see our border radius is visible. And also we are unable to see the color of our profile card, which is a pure white color. So here I will say the background will be the variable of card color. Now let's save and see. Here our profile card is looking very nice. Now we just have to make a link for my profile. Inside the JSX of profile card, after this div, I am making an, I will say my profile, just like this, and I am styling it as the span inside the profile card. So I will say the profile card have a span, and for this span the font weight will be the bold and the color will be the orange, and align item center margin bottom of 1 rem, and cursor will be the pointer. Now let's see. Here we have, but it's not in the center, so let's see why. Okay, they should not be the align items, they should be the align self center. Now let's see. Here we have the my profile link. So our profile card is now ready. Let's move on to the following card. So to make the followers card, again I will go to the components folder and I will make a folder with the name followers card. Inside the followers card, I will make two files, followers card.jsx and followers card.css. Now I am opening the CSS on the left side, as we know that, and JSX write RAFCE and import its CSS. So yeah, here I am importing it as followers card.css. Now to see this on our page, I have to import it in the profile side. So where is our profile side component? This is our profile side component. So below the profile card, there is a followers card. Now let's save and see. So there is a typo of S, I think so. Yeah, there is, the name is followers card. So I should rename it from cards to just card. Okay. Yeah, now let's save and see. Okay, here is the heading followers card, means it's working correctly. Again, go to the JSX file here. Let's close this and make the most parent div at followers card. Okay, and inside this, first of all, I have an h3 heading and which is saying who is following you, just like this. Now let's save and see. Okay, you can see this is the heading. Okay, if we have a look at the pre-built version, you can have a clear idea we need some data to make this card, and if we hard code this data, it will be very stressful for us. So what I'm going to do, I will make a folder, and in the folder there will be a files for the data. Of course, we will make it dynamic when we connect it with our MongoDB. But for this tutorial of front end, I am just making the data files in the same src. So yeah, data folder, and it will have data followers data. So inside the followers data, I will write all the data required for the followers card. First of all, I am importing images from our image directory. Okay, as image 1, image 2, image 3, or these are basically the profile images, and similarly to image 4. Now I am making an array of followers and exporting it. Inside the followers array there will be the objects. So this is the syntax of an object, and inside each object there will be a name, a username, and the image. Okay, I think you are having a clear idea how it's going to working, that the each person will be targeted as its name, username, and the image. These are the attributes that are required in the followers card. Similarly, the second person and the third person and the fourth one. Now let's save this, and inside the followers card, so I am importing this data as import followers from the data and the followers data. Now what I'm going to do next, I'll say for the followers array that we have imported, I am mapping all the data members of this array, and for each follower with its ID, let's return something like this, and the return statement with the div, and the first div will have the class name of follower, and let's say each follower is saying yes follower. Okay, just to test this. Now let's save and see the results. Here you can see we have 4 times yes follower string because we have the 4 followers in our array. It means it is working very fine. Now after this, I am opening the word wrap. Okay, so just remove this string, and inside the follower I am making again a div. Inside the div there will be the image of the follower. So what I will do, the source will be the follower dot image. Okay, as you can see in the data, I am targeting the image as the image img key, and this image will have a class name of follower image, just like this. After this image, I am having a div with the class name of name, which have 2 spans. The first one, the second one. Inside the first one, I will have the name of our follower, so follower dot name, and inside the second span, I have the username of our follower, so I will say the username. Now let's save and see. Yeah, these are the images and their usernames and the names. After this, I have to make a follow button. So it will give user a choice that he or she can also follow the person who is following him or her. Okay, so there will be a button, and inside this button, there will be text like follow. Now let's save and see. Okay, so it's time to style this card. So as you know that we will write the styling in the followers card.css. So here I am targeting the most parent class followers card. Okay, so you can see this here, this class. So for the followers card, first of all, I am making its width 100% and a border radius of 0.5 rem, and the gap of 1 rem, flex direction, of course, the column, and the font size of 13 pixels. Let's see. So there is basically a typo, there should be S. Okay, so now again just save and see. Our styling has been applied. Okay, so for more styling, I am targeting the each follower, and for each follower display flex and justify content space between. So why I am doing space between? If we have at a look pre-built version, you can see that the image, its name, and the follow button, they are taking the whole space of the forward div, and they are making a pretty good alignment, and this alignment is only possible by space between. So therefore, after this I am using the line item centers, and let's save and see our result here. You can see that they are also now aligned. Our next task is to fix the name and the profile image. So for this, I will target the div inside the follower div. You can see that the inside the follower, I have a div which is covering the image and the name. So for this div, I will make it display flex and a gap of 10 pixels. For more, I will next target the follower image and giving it a width of 3.2 rem, a very small width, and height will be also 3.2 rem. This is also very small, and because we want these images not too much large, and as we know that all images should be perfectly round, so I am giving a border radius of 50%. Let's see the results. Because here we have IMAGE and here we have only IMG. So I am fixing the spelling. Now let's save and see. Okay, here now you can see our images are looking good now. After this, I am targeting the name and making it also display flex because it have two spans inside it. It will have a flex direction of column, items at the flex start, and justify content center. The first span, which is the name of our user, will have the font weight of bold. Now let's see. Here we have a very good alignment. Okay, the username should be start with at the rate. So what I will do for this pen, I will just simply write at. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful this is looking. It's time to style this follow button. But you know that we have to use the buttons many times in our project. So it will be good if I make a general styling for all the buttons for our application. So what I'm basically going to do, I will give it a class name of, do the styling for the class button inside our app.css. So I will go to the app.css. Here below this blur class, I am targeting the button, and this button will have a display flex, line item center, justify content. This button will have display flex, line item center, justify content center, and for more the color will be white, and the border will be none for our all buttons because I don't like borders around the buttons, and the border radius for each button will be the 0.5 rem. You can change this value for your specific button, and I will explain you how you can do it next. Okay, but for now the background of our buttons will be the variable which is the button bg. Okay, and the animation, and you can simply say the transition animation for the buttons will be, change will take 100 microseconds with an animation of ease out. Now let's save and see the buttons. Here you can see how our buttons are looking. Okay, so these are just the general stylings. Now we have to make the specific styling for the following button. So what I will do, I will go to the followers card, and in the following card.jsx, I will make the button class as fc button. So for the FC button, I will do the styling inside the follows card.css. I will target this as FC button, and for the FC button, height will be 2 rem, and the padding left will be 20 pixels, and similarly the padding right will be also 20 pixels. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful our buttons are looking now. For more, we should make the cursor as pointer on hover. So again, I will go to the app.css. So yeah, here app.css, and I will say on button hover, make the cursor as pointer. If you want more styling, then what we can do more, I will say on hover, the color of text will also be changed as the orange, and the background color will become transparent. Okay, it will give a very nice effect for our button. For more, the border should be visible on hover, which will be the 2 pixels solid and with the color of that text orange. Now let's save and see. So you can see how beautifully this is working. So our followers card is ready now. It's time to make the center side the post sides. So now in the components folder, here I am making another folder for the post side, which is the center side of our application. So here I am just write post side, the name of folder, and inside there will be two files, post side.jsx and post side.css, like this. Now opening both of these files side by side, and inside JSX I am writing RAFCE and importing its CSS here. So from the same directory post site.css, I am repeating these steps again and again in every component because they are necessary, and I want that you should remember these steps always. So you never gonna confuse. Okay, so I have to import this post site in our home page. So inside home.jsx, just below this profile site, now I am importing the post site. Okay, so it is auto imported now. So let's see the result. Is there any change on the page? Here you can see this is the post site text, mean it is working fine. So if we have a look at a pre-built version, you can see that in the post site, first of all, we have this post share section where we can add a photo and we can write anything and then we can share it. So first of all, I am going to make this upper component. For this, inside the post site, first of all, I will make a parent div with the name post site. Okay, this is basically the class name. Inside this, there will be two components. You can see that the first one will be the share component and second one will be the post component. The post component will carry all these posts. Okay, so overall this center side will contain just two components. Let's start first of all with the styling of this center. I am targeting the post side class and making it display flex direction of column, and the gap between the elements will be 1 rem. The height of this section will be 100 view height, and the overflow will be auto, means it is scrollable. So just save this, and here I am writing the text as share component. Okay, so just to see if this is working or not. Yeah, so it is working fine. Now inside the component folder, again I am going to make post share component. So the folder name post share dot jsx and a css. So post share dot css. Now opening them side by side, and for the JSX just write RFC so we can just import it in post side. So here it will be auto imported, as you can see that this component is also imported, and let's save this again. Now have a look, here we are seeing the post share component. Let's start making it. So I'm closing the terminal and making it bigger. Now the most parent div, the post share. Okay, inside this div, first of all I will have a profile image. As you can see inside the pre-built version, first of all we have this profile image, and for the source of this image I will import it from our image directory. So I will say import. So now let's save it, and inside the src now I am just writing the profile image, and let's save and see if we have this image. Yeah, now we have this image. It's time to style this first. So inside the post share.css, first of all I will target the post share div, and I will make it as display flex with the gap of 1 rem, and the background color of, as we know that we are giving a card color to every card in our application where it is needed, and then I'm giving it a padding of 1 rem and the border radius of also 1 rem. Now for the image, I will target it as the image inside the post share section. It is targeted as this, and I am giving it a border radius of 50%, means it will be totally rounded, and then the width of 3 rem only and the height of also 3 rem. So now just see this image. Okay, the styling is not applied because probably we have not imported CSS. Yes, so first of all, let's import this from the same directory, postshare.css. Now let's save and see. Here you can see our image now have a very beautiful circular shape. After this image, we have this text input in our pre-built version. So now let's make this. First of all, I will make an other div. Inside this div, I am making an input with the type text, and the placeholder I am writing it as just what's happening that you probably see on many social media applications. Okay, so just write it under double quotation. Okay, this is giving an error because all these things should be under the upper div. Okay, now let's format the code. Okay, now you can see it's in the right position, and after this I am making an other div for all the post share options. So I will just write them as post options, and here will lie all the options of our share. As you can see, the photo, video, location and schedule, all these options will lie here inside the post share options. So to make them, first of all, I have to import all the icons that are required to make them visible. So first of all, I will import the UIL scenery icon from the icon scout library, and a circle and a location point with a schedule which will be like a calendar. And let's save this, and here I am going to use these icons. First of all, I will make a div with the class name of option. So I will give this same class to every share option. Okay, so I am doing this for easiness in the CSS. So our first icon will be the UIL scenery. Now let's save and see if this is imported or not. Okay, here this is. I am pasting another and one another. Okay, so my second icon will be the UIL circle like this. The fourth one will be the location point, I assume, and the fourth one will be the schedule icon. So just like this. Now let's save and see. Okay, here I have all the icons in the column direction. I also want to make headings for them. Okay, first of all, let's format the code like this, and to see the proper structure, now you can see the proper structure. For each icon, I am writing their headings. Here will be written as the photo, and here will be the video, and here the location like this, and the fourth one will be the schedule. Okay, here you can see now they have their headings. After this, now we want to make their coloring and their alignment just like this. Let's see how I am going to make this. For this, I will open the CSS file, and below this image of our photo share, I will target the div inside the photo share. So this div is basically this div, this one just below the image, which is containing the what's happening input text. Okay, so I mean input field. So for this div, first of all, I will make it as display flex and the flex direction of column with the width of 90% of total available space with the gap of 1 rem. Now let's save and see. Here you can see our input has a larger width than previous one. It's time to target this input. So here I am targeting the input inside this div. You can see this by hovering to, first of all, the post share element inside this div, a div with an input tag. So I am making its background with the input color variable, the border radius of 10 pixels, padding of 10 pixels, the basic stuff with a font size of 17 pixels, and the border none. Now let's save, and here you can see this is our input text, but there is an issue with the outline. So let's fix this. I will make its outline none. So now our share input is looking very pretty. It's time to align these icons. So for these icons here, I am targeting the post options. You can see this div here. Here I have made the post options, inside which there are all the shareable options. So what I'm going to do, I will make them as display flex, justify content space round. So they will take the total available space of their parent div, and each option will have a padding of 5 pixels and a padding left and right of 10 pixels. And similarly, the border radius of each option will be 1. So now let's save and see. Here you can see as we have no boundary. So basically there is no use of making the border radius, but I was just experimenting with some border colors, but they not fit best. You can skip the border radius. Okay, now let's move on. After this, every option will be as a display flex with the align item center, justify content center, and a font size of 12 pixels. So here you can see that now they have a 12 pixel size. After this, I want whenever I hover these icons, my cursor should be like pointer. So for this, on hovering, I am making the cursor as the pointer. Now let's save and see. Here you can see our cursor is like pointer, but the problem is that they should be in horizontal direction just below this input. Okay, so there is a problem that our post share having the display flex with the flex direction column. So this image and the input div will be in the column direction, but the post option will also become in the column direction because it is independent of these two tags. So what I should do, I should move all of this post option div inside the input div. So what will happen, this div and the post option div will become now one part. So I should format the code. Now you can understand it clearly. This is the parent and this is the child. Let's save, and now you can see they are in a horizontal direction. It's time to give them different color for our post options. For this, what I'm going to do, as these colors are dynamic from each other, so I am declaring styling for each of one independently. So for the photo, I am targeting the variable which is having the name of photo, like this. Similarly, I am just copying this and I will apply this here for the video, and the name of variable will be the video. Similarly for the location, and the style will be the location, and similarly for the last one with the variable name of schedule, like this. Now let's save and see. Here we have these beautiful colors, but I am noticing one thing, that the background of card is not applied, which is white. So let's see why this is not applied. Okay, in the CSS. Okay, so here we have forget to write the var, which is the syntax to declare the variables. Now you can see our share input is almost ready, but we have to make this share button. And we also have to make this functionality of adding photo and to remove it. But it's another topic. Let's move on to the share button. So to make the share button, below this schedule div, I am making the button, and this button will have the text share. It's time to declare its class name. So the class name will be simple button that we have in the app.css, but it still has some its own specific properties. Therefore, I am writing as post share button, the PS button. So first of all, let's first see this without declaring the PS button stylings. So here you can see this is our button. So definitely we have to add some padding and some margin. So what I'm going to do, I will just target this PS button in the CSS. So just go here at the very end, dot PS, and for this button the padding will be 5 pixels with the padding left of 20 pixels. Similarly for the padding right of 20 pixels, and a font size of, here this is the font size of 12 pixel. Let's save this and see the result. So now our button is completely ready to use. So to make the photo selection possible, what I am going to do, I will import the two hooks from the React library. I mean React framework, whatever you say. Okay, so the first one will be the use state and the second one will be the use ref. Yeah, just like this. So let's use them one by one in our post here function. First of all, I will use the use state with an image and a function set image. Okay, a very basic stuff. I will use the use state and the initial value will be null. Now use the use ref hook. Here I am making our instance of our use ref with the name const. I am saying it as image ref and it is an instance of use ref hook. Yeah, as simple as this. After this, I am going to make a div just below this button and just a simple div. It will have an input, but the difference is that the type of this input will be of the file. Now in this input type file, I have its name as my image, and I will declare a function that on change it will change some value, but let's skip this for now. Okay, the reference it will be used, it is a image ref. Okay, now as you know that in a pre-built version we had our selected image just below these share options. Here you can see that our input type file is visible and we can choose any picture, but there is no use of showing this. So what I am going to do here for this div, I will declare its style. Okay, so basically on this style I will make it display as none. Now save this and you can see the input is gone, but its reference is available for us in the program. So I will use its reference by saying on change. Okay, so what I will say on change, it will fire a function which is on image change, like this. Now let's define this function on image change on the top of our program. I mean on the top of our file. Here whatever you can say, const, just paste this and it will be a fat arrow function like this. Okay, so as this function is using the image that we have selected, so of course we will use an event that will carry that image. Okay, so we will use this event as if event dot target dot files is true, and the event dot target dot files and then we will use the index of 0 is also true. Then what to do, then let make an image object which will be equal to event dot target dot files and the index of 0, and just after this use the function of our use state which is the set image, and inside the set image make an object with the key value of image, and it will use the url dot create object url and the reference of image. So what this function is basically doing, let's have a look in detail. There will be an event that is fired on our hidden input. So how it is fired? It is fired by the reference that we will set on our photo option. Okay, when this event is fired, now we will check for the availability of any image file. First of all, it will check if this event contains any files, and if it contains, then is that image present? That should be on the 0th index of our files. So if it is present, then we are just declaring a variable that will carry this image and set the image in our use state with the key of image. So as simple as this. If you repeat this video for previous 2 minutes again, then you will surely have a clear idea how I am making it. Okay, it's time to set the reference for our photo share option. So I will go to the photo share option. Okay, just here, and for its div, what I am going to do, I will make a function of on click, and on click a function that will be executed, and in this function the image ref dot current dot. So what this piece of code is doing, so whenever you click this photo icon of our share option, then our image reference will be clicked. and when it will be clicked, then the control will go to this input, and when the control will go to this input, it will open the directory box. Okay, so from the directory box, when you click on an image, then the control will go to this function on image change, and on image change the selected image will be assigned to our this image in the use state. Okay, so I know at the start it's very complicated to capture, but when you go through same parts 2 to 3 times, then you will clearly have the idea. Okay, so what to do when the image is selected, how to show the image on the screen. Below this div here, I am saying that if image exists. Okay, it is similar to our if statement. So what it do, it is saying if image exists, means if the image object is true, then these two ampersand signs are representing the then statement. So then what to do, then fire this execution div with the class name of preview image. Okay, so inside the preview image, first of all, I will have an icon scout SVG of cross that will be present over every image, so we can deselect the image. To import this cross, I am just simply copy any of the statement and paste this, and here inside of UIL schedule, I will say times. Okay, UIL times. So this is the name of a cross icon. So here I am just simply writing UIL times and just simply close it. Now let's save this, and let's have a look what's happening in our application. If I click on a photo, it opens, and then when I click this, our URL times exists on the screen. That means it's working very fine. Okay, so with along with this cross icon, there should be image also visible. So to make the image visible, I will make an image tag, and the source of this image tag is our use state image. So image is our use state, and dot image is the key of our object. Now let's save, and again here if I click on photo and click on any image, then you can see that the image is visible. Okay, now we want, on clicking this cross option, the image should be removed from the screen. So to do this, here on the URL times, I am making a function on click, and on a function will be executed, and inside this function what will happen, the following set image will become null. Okay, so it will just clear off our use state. Now let's have a look again. I refresh and then select any image. When I click this, you can see that the image is clear. So it's time to style all of this stuff. I will go to the postshare.css, and below this PS button, first of all, I will target the preview image. Okay, so inside the preview image, I am making its position relative, and along with the position relative, I want to make the image inside the preview image div as the position absolute. Okay, basically no, the cross icon is not the image. This URL time is not the image. This is a SVG. So instead of IMG, I should write the SVG. Okay, now save it, and below this I will make it write 1 rem, and from the top 0.5 rem, like this. Now the cursor will be like the pointer on hovering it. Now let's save and see. If I select any image, here you can see the cross icon is on a very perfect place. It's time to make the width and height of preview image manageable. So again, now I will target the image inside the preview image, and I will make its width only 100% of the total space available, and the maximum height that because images will have different heights. Okay, but the maximum height of every image will be 20 rem, and the object fit will be the cover, so it will adjust the image according to the dimensions of our 20 rem height and the 100% width. So there will be no cropping issues with the image. Okay, and the border radius of that image will be 0.5 rem. Now let's save and hope for the best. Here I am selecting an image, and wow, how beautiful is this looking. I can clear this off. I can select an other image and then I can clear this off. Okay, I hope you like this functionality very much, and there should be a like and comment on this functionality. Let's move on to the post section of our application. So for the post, here inside the components, I am making an other folder with the name post, inside which there will be two files, post.jsx, as we are doing again and again, and the other one is for the CSS. I am doing this for the best read codability, because as I mentioned in the start that this will be a production ready application. Okay, so here I am writing RAFCE, and first of all I am importing its CSS. Of course we have not mentioned anything yet inside the CSS, but I may forget it. Okay, so now to see this post on our application, I have to import it in the post side.jsx. So here just below the post share, I am writing posts posts, and it will be auto imported. Now let's save and see the results. So here is the text post, means it's working fine. So now I will go to the post and I will make a parent div with the class name of post. Now if we have a look at the pre-built version, you can see that here we have some photos, their descriptions, name, likes. So you can clearly have an idea that we require some data to make this post, and I will not hard code it because it will become too much stressful. So again I will make another file inside the data and I will call it as postdata.js. Here I am pasting some data like this. So what is this data? Here I simply imported the pictures from the image directory, and then I am making an array of objects. Each object consists of an image, the name, the description of the post, the number of likes, and if you have liked this post before or not, because we have to make the heart shape according to this value. Okay, so now just save it, and inside the post I am importing this data. So I will import post data from the data into post data. Okay, now I will iterate through this data. Post data dot map, and then for each post along with its id I will return a function, and in this function it will just simply return a component with the name post. Of course we have not made any post component yet, so let's first define it inside the components folder as we have did before. So just a post component with the post.jsx and the post.css. Okay, so the css on the right side just like this, and rafce like this. Now import its css first because I generally forget it. Post.css. Okay, now let's save it, and here I have to import this again. So this is the post. Yeah, so now just save it and have a look at application. So you can see that here I have 3 times post text because I have 3 posts inside the post data. The first object, the second one, and the third one, means it is iterating very fine. Okay, so now what I have to do, I will declare some styling first of all for the post. So here I will target the most parent class, and I make it display flex and the flex direction of column, and then the gap between each element in this will be of 1 rem. Now just save it and let's go to the post.css. Of course still we have to first make the structure of our post, so I will just make div dot post, and inside this post I have to render some data. So to pass the data to this post section, I have to pass it from post. So what I will do, okay, so here I will make a parameter with the name data, and inside the data I will pass the post. Okay, so everything inside the post will pass here, and the id of this component will be simply the id. So now I am basically just passing out the data from this array to this component. Okay, so here first of all I will receive this as data, and now the first part of the post will be the image of the post. So of course the source will become data.image, because if you know the post data have this image key, so I am retrieving it as data.image. After this we have a reaction segment for the post, so it is called as post react. Okay, yeah, simply post it. You can see this in the pre-built version here. These three icons are the reactions for the post: the like, comment, and the share. So first of all, I will make three images. Okay, Control C, Control V, and Control V. Okay, so these are basically the three SVGs that I have made. So I am importing them from our img directory. So here on the top, just below the post.css, importing these four PNGs. The first one is for comment, share, heart, and not like. So not like is basically this heart, the blank one, and the liked heart is this one. So yeah, these are just simply the SVGs. Okay, now I have to give source for each of them. The first one will be the like. Okay, so if the data dot liked is true, then return the heart SVG, and if it is not, then return the not like SVG. Okay, so this is a very simple logic, you can understand it. Okay, now for the second one, there should be always comment PNG, and the third one share PNG. Okay, just save it and have a result. Okay, so these are the images that we have imported, and these are the three PNGs. But there is a problem that every heart is filled now. Means this is showing that we have liked each and every post, but this is not true in our post data, because the property is liked, not the likes. Likes exist on every post, but the like does not. So now let's save it and have a result. Now you can see it is only filling the heart that is liked now. Okay, after this, every post also has some description. So below this div I am making a span, and the description first of all contains the likes. Okay, so the number of likes. Now to make the number visible, I will write data dot likes and then pass a space. So what it will render, it will render means 2300 likes and any value. Okay, so here you can see 2300 likes, 2300 likes, 800. Okay, so I think you got it. Okay, after this the description contains the detail. Okay, so the detail will be something like this. There I make a span, and inside the span first of all there should be the name of the person that have posted that post. So the name should be always bold, so therefore okay, I will put it under the B tag, so it will be bold like this. And then the second one is the description. Okay, the description he or she have written for his post. Okay, so now let's save it and see. Here we have likes, the name, and the detail of the post. Okay, so and there should be a space. Okay, so okay, yeah, now it is perfectly aligned. Okay, it's time to apply styling for our post. I will go to the post.css. Here, first of all, I will target the most parent div post, and inside the post, I am making it display flex and the flex direction of column, because we want these all things, the image, the reactions, and the detail, all things in the column direction. So I have made it a direction column. The padding between the post and its corners are about 1 rem, and the background color is of course our card color that we are giving to each card. So you can clearly have an idea how we are maintaining the theme of our application by using the same variables. Okay, after this the post will have a border radius of 1 rem and a gap of 1 rem between each element of the post. So just save and see. Okay, so it is too much aligned now. Okay, the next thing we just have to give the borders for our image and also declare some height, because you can see that some images are too much large, some are very small. So I should make some proper alignment. So therefore I am targeting the image inside the post, and every image will have a width 100% of the parent element. The maximum height will be only 20 rem. The object fit should be covered, so there will be no cropping issue, and the border radius of every image will be 0.5 rem. Now let's save and see. Okay, now you can see these images are looking very pretty now. After this, I have to give some gap between these reactions. Okay, so I will target the post, and the post react will have the display flags. Items will be at the start of this div, because this div is containing all this space. Okay, so the elements should always be on the start of this flags this side. Okay, so and the gap between the element will be 1.5 mm. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautifully we have made our post in a very short time, and it is looking very cool, of course. Okay, the one thing we can do that we should remove these scroll bars. They are giving too much boring effect for our application. Okay, so I am going to remove all these scroll bars from our application. What I will do, I will go to the app.css just here, and at the end of this file I will write the double column, and then I will write WebKit and scroll bar. Okay, so for every scroll bar the display will be none. Now let's see the magic. Here what happened, every scroll bar has gone now. So yeah, this is too much cool. It's time to make the right side of our application. So for the right side, again I will go to the components folder. Inside I am making a folder with the name right side, and inside the right side, first of all, make the file right side.jsx and the right side.css. I know this is not a very best convention to represent the components, but it's working for me fine. Okay, so yeah, I have JSX and the CSS. Okay, I don't know what I am doing here. Just close all the file. Okay, so now first of all write RAFCE and just import its CSS first. Okay, so from the same directory write side.css. Yeah, now I have to import this side in the home page. So for the home page.jsx, I will remove this text from here and I will call the right side, just like this. Now let's save this and have a look at the application. If there is an error, no, there is no error, it's working fine. Okay, so now inside the right side, first of all I will make a parent div with the name right side. Okay, inside this, if I have a look at a pre-built version, you can see that we have these nav icons in the top of right side. So I am going to make these icons, and for these icons, first of all I have to import all these pngs. So yeah, I have pasted some code to import this. First of all, I am importing the home png, the notification png. All these are available in the image directory. Similarly, the comment png, the previous one we have used, and the setting png is available from the icon scout library. Okay, so these are very general stuff. Now to use this, I am going to make a div with the name nav icons. Inside nav icons, first of all there will be an image, and the first image is going to be the home image. So yeah, so by clicking this we can navigate to the home page. The second one will be the UIL settings. Yeah, the second one similarly will be the notification png, and it should be in the curly braces like this. And if I just copy and paste this, the third one should be the comment png. Okay, now let's save and see if it is imported or not. Okay, so yeah, these 4 pngs are imported now. Okay, it's time to style these pngs in the right side. So I will go to the css, and here first of all I will target the most parent class, the right side, and I am making it display flex. As we know that we want all the things inside this right side in the column direction, because you can see in the pre-built version, first there will be a nav icon, then there is trend card and the share button. All these are in the column direction. So I am making them as flex dashing column and gap between them will be 2 rem. After this I am targeting the nav icons div, which is this one. Okay, this one which contains all these pngs. So yeah, of course it will again display flex with the margin top of 1 rem. Okay, so because I want some distance between the top of our screen and the icons. Okay, after this I am making the justify content space between, so they will take the whole space available for them. So now the images inside the nav icon will have width of only 1.5 rem and the height should be also 1.5 rem. Now let's save and see the results. Here you can see how beautifully these nav icons are aligned. It's time to make the trend card for our right side. So what I will do, just below this, I will make a component with the name trend card like this. Of course, we have no such component. So again, I will make this with the folder name trend card. I know it's boring to do it again and again, but it is necessary for pure CSS and React. Okay. So as it is beginner friendly tutorial, so I have to do it again and again for you guys like this. Okay, so now in the JSX RFCE and I should import it CSS, import from the same side the trend card.css. Just save it and the CSS on the right side. Yeah. Okay, so now I have to import it by auto importing or the IntelliSense. Yeah, now just save it and see the results. Here we have the text trend card, means it's working fine. So if you have a look at the pre-built version of application, you can have an idea that again we need some data to make this trend card. So what I will do, again I will go to the data folder and inside this I am making another file, trend data.js. Again I am repeating that I am making these files just for the sake of simplicity in our front end. We will not use them in a full MERN stack application. We will do this stuff dynamically. So for now just save this and let's close it. Okay, so I will go to the trend card.jsx and here I will make a parent with the class name of trend card. Okay, so I am just keeping this tutorial very simple for the beginners. Okay, after this, first of all I am making an h3 heading which is saying trends for you. Okay, now I am importing the trend data, so I will say import the trend data. I do not know why it's not importing. Let's have a look. Import trend data. Yeah, but why it's not auto importing from. I will go again outside, then inside the data and then trend data.js. Let's save and have a look if it is imported or not. Is declared but value never used. Okay, I will iterate through this trend data and I am just doing this by mapping. And now for each trend, what I will do, I will return a function which will return some JSX. Okay, like this, and inside this JSX, first of all I am making a div with the name trend. Inside the trend I will have two span. The first span will representing the trend name, so I will say trend dot name, and similarly the second one will be showing the number of shares the trend have achieved. Okay, so they should not be a hashtag. Now let's save and see if there any difference. Yeah, we have all the trends with the number of shares. Okay, so these shares are in the K, so I just write K shares like this, where K means 1000. Okay, so now just save, and here we have the cable. It's time to style this trend card. So what I will do, I will go to trend card.css and then target the most parent class, the trend card, and I'm making it a display flex with the flex direction column because all the trends are in the vertical direction, and then the gap between them will be 1 rem. The background of our card should be the card color that we are using for this theme, and the padding of this card will be 1 rem. There should always be a border radius in every card, so I am giving it the same of 1 rem and the padding left of 2 rem. Let's save and have a look. Okay, So now it is looking very fine. The only thing we have to do is to style the interior of this card. So for this, I am targeting each trend inside the card, making it display flex. Direction will be the column. So the number of shares and the name of the trend will be in vertical direction with the gap of 0.5 rem. Let's have a look. Yeah. Now I should make the trend name bold. So what I will do, I will target the first span inside the trend. What it is doing is first it is looking for the trend class name. Then inside the trend, it is looking for a span, and then it is targeting the first type of span inside the trend. Okay, so if you basically just hover this, now you can have a clear idea the element and then the first span. Because the first span is the name, so I will just make it as a bold like this. Now let's save this. Okay, there can be an easy way to do this by just putting this whole thing inside the b tag, but I want to show you this by this method, so therefore I achieved this. And the second span should have some smaller font because it is just a number of shares, so I'm making it is only 13 pixel. Now let's save and see. Okay, so our trend card is now ready to use as we have in the built version, and this is our developed version. Now it's time to make the share button for our application. So for the share button, I will go to the right side and I should make it smaller. Okay, just below this trend card, I am making a button, and of course I will give this the class name of button, and inside button I will simply say the share. Now let's save and have a look. So here we have our share button. Of course we have to do some styling. So for the styling, I will say it as R button, means the right button. Now I will go to the right side .css, and here I am targeting the R button, and inside the R button I am giving it a height of 3 rem with a width of 80%. 80% will be enough of the total, and the align self as the center of the div. So yeah, let's save and see. Okay, I should also save this file. Now we have a very beautiful share button. Okay, next we are going to make the profile page of our application. So for the profile page, I will go inside the pages folder, and here I am making another folder with the name profile. Okay, so inside the profile, I am making a JSX for our profile page, profile.jsx, and also a CSS will be like the profile.css. So now JSX should be on this side. Okay, RAFCE for the fat arrow react function, and now I am importing its CSS from the same directory, profile.css. Now let's save it. Okay, now to show this page on the screen, what I have to do inside the app.js, I am just commenting out our home page, and here I am importing the profile page like this. Okay, so I will do this dynamically by React router on the following videos, but for now let's complete the front end part. Okay, so now let's have a look. Here we have our profile page. So before developing the profile page, let's have a look at a pre-built version. This is a pre-built profile page. You can notice this is very similar to home page. It still have three sides, the left side, center, and the right side. So let's start with the left side. So what's going to basically happen inside the profile.jsx, I am making a parent div.profile. Okay, so as we know that it will have a left side, so I am making profile left JSX component. So let's first define this component inside the components folder. Here I am making the profile left, and then the profile left.jsx, and similarly the CSS like this. Okay, so again RFCE and import its CSS, import from the same the profile left.css. Let's save this. Okay, so now I should import it by auto importing just like this. Now save and have a look. Yeah, this is profile left, means it's working very fine. First of all, I will style the profile page. So I will target the most parent profile and I will make it position as relative. So why I am making every page as position relative? Because I want to see these blurs behind the cards or the components we made. They should not be on the top of any component. They should be behind and showing us as a reflection. Therefore, I am making every page as position relative. Now the display should be grid. After this, the grid template column will be as same as we have in the home page, 18 rem auto, 20 rem. Okay, so these are the three sides, and finally the gap between these sides will be the 1 rem. After this, I will go to the profile left component. Okay, inside the profile left component, again I am making div dot profile left class. So just like this. And if we notice the left side, here we have three components in the left side: the search bar, the info component, and the following card. Okay, so I am just simply defining the first of all logo search that we have made, and then there will be a info card that we are going to make, and lastly we have the followers card. Okay, so this is the followers card. Now let's make the info card first inside the component. So again, info card JSX, like info card.jsx, and finally it's CSS like this one. Okay, inside JSX RAFCE, and I should import its CSS from the same directory info card.css. Now it's ready to make the info card. Okay, so here I will make it as div dot info card. Yeah, first of all there will be a div with the name info head. Inside the info head I am making an h4 heading which is saying your info. Okay, after this I have a icon scout library icon which is the UIL pen to edit the information of profile. So I can import it as import UIL, and then I will write from at the rate icon scout react an icon. Yeah, okay, let's save this and have a look if it is imported or not. Okay, so it is saying info card is not defined. Okay, so why info card is not defined? Okay, we forget to auto import it, so let's just do this. Okay, so now let's save, and here this is the pencil and this is the your info. Okay, so it's working fine, and there is also our following card. This is because we have made this here. Okay, because we not have the other two divs for the sides of our profile page. Okay, so inside the profile left I will save this. Okay, and inside the profile.css, so I think there is a mistake. This should not be in the profile left.css. I have made a mistake. I should do this styling for the profile.css. Yeah, it lies here. Now you can see this is on a perfect place. Okay, it's time to complete our info card. So again I will go to the info card, and below this div here I am making a div with the name info. Inside this, first of all there will be a span which will be saying the status like this, and the status will lie inside an other span which will be saying in relationship, something like this. Now I can just copy this info div for each individual info, and I am pasting this as the second info is going to be the lives in, and I am writing my city name as Multan, and similarly the other div which is saying works at, and here I will say, let's for example ZAINKEEPSCODE Institute. Now let's save this and have a look. Yeah, here we have our information. It's time to make a button to log out from our ID. So just below this I am making a button which will say the logout, and of course I will give it the class name of button. Simple. Yeah, let's save and see here our button. So now first of all I have to make a proper CSS for our info card. I will go to the infocard.css. Where is it? It is infocard.css. So here, first of all, I'm targeting the infocard div and making it as display flex. After making display flex, I am giving it a flex direction of column and with the gap of 0.75 rem. The background color is of course our card color with the padding of 1 rem, and the border radius is also 1 rem for this card, as this is the basic theme of our application. The width of this card is the 90% of our profile left side. So let's save this and have a look. Okay, so now you have a clear look. After this, first of all, I have to style this info head. Okay, so I am targeting the info head, making display flex, justify content space between, so it will take the whole width available and the line items in the center. Now let's see. Yeah, so now these two icons are also in a perfect alignment. So I should make this pencil icon a little bit smaller. So what I will do, I will go to this icon here and I am defining its width as 2 rem. This is the parameters of icon scout library that you can pass the height and width. Okay, so 1.2 rem. Now let's save and see. Okay, now this is a perfect size for our info card. It's time to style the whole card more. Okay, after this I will target the div inside the info card, and on hover this div, the cursor will be like the pointer. So which div I am targeting here? As you can see, there is no div inside our info head. So basically I want to make the cursor like pointer on hovering this pencil icon. So I will make an other div and I just move this inside this. Okay, so now let's save and have a look. This is the effect that I want. Okay, it's time to style these pans. So I think these pans are already making a perfect alignment. The only thing we need is just a space between them. So how can I achieve this space? I will place a space after status, lives in, and the work set. Okay, now save and look. Yeah, now they are looking pretty good. It's time to style the logout button. So for styling logout button, here I will write logout and the button. Now this class will be targeted here. Here I will targeting it and making its width 7 rem and a height of 2 rem. The margin top of it should be 6 rem with the line self at the flex end. Now let's save and see. The styling is not applied because I forget to save this file now. So now the styling is applied properly. So yeah, this is the total info card that we want. But the one thing that I am missing here, that there should be a space between the search and the follow card and the info card. They should be aligned properly. So what I will do, I will go to the profile left.css. So here I will make a profile left.css. Okay. So yeah, what I will do. Okay, so here is a technique that I want to share with you. If I don't make this profile left.css and just simply delete this, okay, you can see here I am deleting the profile left.css because I already have a profile site.css. That styling is the same styling we want to apply on our profile left side. So I just copied this class name from here and where is my profile left.jsx? Yeah, here, and here I just simply paste it and now see what happens. Okay, it's saying profile left.css is not because I am importing it here. Just delete this and here. Now you can see the same styling is applied and we have nothing to do more. We have reused our code. So that's the beauty of React and CSS. Now it's time to make the center part of our profile page. So it is very easy to make the center side of our profile page. What I will do, I will just simply go to the profile.jsx and here I will make a div with the name profile center. Like this. Okay, inside the profile center, first of all I will call our component the profile card. Okay, and then below this I will call the component post side, just like this. Now let's save this and have a look. Here I have my card and here this is our post side. Okay, so of course when I will connect it with the router settings, then these profile cards and there the posts will only belong to the person who are seeing his or her profile. Okay, so but for now only for the front end design it's enough. But the problem is that we also want to show the number of posts, and on the main profile page there is no sense to see this my profile text. Okay, and there should be also a gap between these elements. Okay, so what I will do, I will go to the profile.css, and yeah, there is a gap, but now I should also target the profile center like this, and I'm making profile center as display flex, and the flex direction of column, and the gap between them will be 1 rem. Now let's see. Yeah, now we have a clear distance between them. Okay, it's time to customize this card according to the profile page. What I will do, I will go to the profile card. Here is our profile card. I am opening it, and on the top of this function I am making a variable as the profile page, and I am making it as true. So just below this div of the follow, what I will say, I will say if the profile page is true, then what to do, then it should return a JSX, and this JSX involves a parent tag. This is basically a JSX null tag, and it will have a div with the class name of vertical line, and we know that this is an empty div, and still we have an other div with the class name of follow, and inside this div I have a span, and this span is saying only 3 posts are posted by your ID, and here it is saying post. Okay, let's save and see. Okay, as we know that I have made the profile page true. So there we are seeing the number of posts the person has posted on his or her profile. Okay. So yeah, I will do this thing by the React router in the future videos, but for the front end part, it's enough. Okay. And now I should remove this span. So if the profile page, okay, exists, or if it is true, then return nothing. Okay, because then we don't want this text, and if it is not true, then return this span. So I just make Control X and Control V, and there should be a colon, not this. Okay, let's format the code and save this and have a look. Okay, now you can see the span of my profile has gone, and our center side is looking very beautiful now. Okay, the one thing I am noticing here, the text number of likes is very bold. Okay, I should make it smaller. So what I will do, I will go to the post.jsx, and here for the span of likes, here I will make some styling, and this styling includes the color will be our variable, which is gray. Okay, like this, and its font size, which is very important to minimize, it should be only 20 pixels. Let's save and see. Yeah, now it's looking very good because it resembles to the original social media application. The right side is the most easiest side to make on our profile page. What I will do, I will simply go to the profile page. Okay, profile.jsx, yeah, just right here, and below this div I am writing the right side. Let's save this, and yeah, how easily we have made our profile page completely. It is as simple as this. Our next target is to make the login and the sign up page. So to make the login and sign up form, what I'm going to do, I will go to the pages folder. Inside the pages, I am making a folder with the name auth. Auth means authentication. Inside this, I am making auth.jsx and the auth.css like this. Okay, so CSS on the left side, and here's our JSX. So I'm writing RAFCE, and first of all import CSS, import from the same directory auth.css. Let's save it. Okay, now I will go to the app.js, and now I am commenting profile page, and here importing our authentication page. So here just auth, and let's save this and have a look at the output. So yeah, this is our authentication page working fine. Okay, now inside the auth.js, first of all, I will just remove this pretext and yeah, div.auth. Inside the auth, before making any code, let's have a look at the pre-built version. Okay, so the authentication page have basically two sides. The left side, which has this ZKC media text and the logo and this description, and on the left side we have this sign up form. So first of all, let's start with this left side. What I will do, I will make a div with the name a left, mean authentication left. Inside the left side, first of all, I have the image, and for the image, I have to import the logo from our image directory. I will write it logo from okay img image and logo.png. So yeah, it is like this. Now inside the src I am writing logo. Let's save and have a look. Okay, so there is our logo imported successfully. After this I have to write a div for our application name, and it is called as web name. Inside this, first of all, I have an h1 heading with the zkc media. This is the name of our application, and below this I have an h6 heading for the description or the slogan of our media app. So I will say explore the I like this. Okay, so I should make it smaller like this. So yeah, this is our total left side. Let's save and have a look. Okay, our text is now visible. We have an icon. Let's first style our page. Okay, so inside the authentication.css, first of all, I am targeting the most parent authentication div, and inside this, I am making it as display flex. So our whole page will be a flex box. Okay, inside the flex box, I want both the components in the row direction. So I am not declaring any flex direction because row direction is the default direction of flexbox. After this, making justify content center, line item center, and the height will be the 100% of view height. Okay, and then the gap between the items will be 4 rem with the position relative. Of course, we don't have the second item yet inside our authentication page. So let's just make it as h1 and then forum. Let's save this, and here you can see that it is form. Okay, so let's save this, and now you can see here our form will lie, and this is our title. Now for more, let's first design the left side. Okay, so I am targeting the divs inside the authentication, making every div display flex, item center, content center, and yeah, this basic stuff for both the divs. Okay, after this I am targeting the left side specifically. So here I am made the comment of left side, and in the left side I am giving the gap of 2 rem between the zkc media text and the icon of our application. And similarly, I am targeting the image of our application, giving it a width of 4 rem and a height of 4 rem. So yeah, let's save this and have a look what happens. Okay, so here we have our beautiful icon and the text is aligned, but now I have to give the gradient to this text. As you can see that this is a gradient of between I think yellow and orange. So this is a very tricky thing to give a gradient to a text. Let's see how I'm going to do this. First of all, I am targeting the h1 heading inside the web name div. As you can see, this is web name and this is the h1 heading. So inside this, I am making its font size 3 rem and giving it a background color of red. Okay, so why I have given this a background color of red? Let's see ahead. After this, I am creating a gradient image. Okay, the gradient image will be the background of our text. Our text will be like the transparent, and then this image will be shown behind the text. So let's first make this image. I am making an image of our button color because our button is using the same gradient color. After this, I am setting the background size and repeat property. Okay, so the background size will be the 100% and the background will be repeating. So if the text is too much long, then the gradient can repeat itself. After this, I am using the text as a transparent medium. So here I have written our text, use the text as a mask of the background. This will show the gradient as a text color rather than the element background. Okay, So let's make this okay. After this, I am giving a background clip of text, and then you can see that text fill color of transparent. Similarly, these are the settings for the different browsers that we have to repeat for the Chrome and the Mozilla Firefox. So just the repeating stuff. Now let's save and have a look at our logo. So yeah, this is the beautiful gradient behind our text. Okay, now let's further move on and change the slogan size. So I am making its font size of 0.85 rem. Let's save and see. Okay, so our left side is complete. Now it's time to make the right side of the forum. Okay, if we have a look at the pre-built version, you can see that here's the sign up form, and at the same place we have to make the login form. So what I will do, let's first here below this auth function, I am making an other function, and this function is like function and then sign up, which is returning some JSX. So for its JSX, I am making a div which is saying the right side of our authentication. Okay, so recht a right, and it will contain a forum with the class name of info forum. Yeah. So for now, I am assigning no action for our forum because it's just the front end part. So inside the forum, I am making an H3 heading of sign up. Okay, like this one. And after the heading, I am making a div which will contain our all the inputs. So first of all, I am making an input of type text and giving it a placeholder of first name. Okay, and then I should also give this input class name. So the class name of all the inputs will be the info input, like this. Okay, I should make the word wrap on so you can clearly see it. Okay, with the class name, every input will also have a name that will be used in assigning the properties to our use state hook, but we will see it on later. So just its name is the first name that can be written is, yeah, just like this. And yeah, that's pretty much for our input. Let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, I have to first import the sign up form here. So what I will do, here I will write sign up just like this. Now let's save this, and here I have my input and the heading of sign up. Okay, after this, inside the pre-built one, you can see there are some inputs that are in pair with other, means first name, last name, and some inputs are single, means the username is taking the whole width, and then password and confirm password are again in the pair form. So what I will do, the inputs which are in the pair form will lie inside one div, and the input which is singly represented on the form, it will lie singly in a div. So let's have a look how I'm going to do it. As the first name and last name in the pair, so I just copy this input and just pasting it. Let's format the code. Okay, so here I will say it as the last name info input. Yeah, again the last name. Let's save this, and here you can see the first and last. Of course, we have to apply styling for it on the. Okay, now for the username, I am making an other div, and inside this div, again the input with the class name of info input like this, and making it name as the username like this one. Let's save this, and here we have our username. Okay, I should make a placeholder of username. So yeah, it should be like, after this again I have to make password and confirm password. So input with the class name of info input. I am giving class name of info input to each input because at the end we have to make styling, and I want to make the styling for all the inputs same. Name will be equal to the password, and the placeholder will be equal to the password. Similarly, I will make an other input like this. Let's format the code, and it will be the confirm password. So here I will write confirm, and instead of writing full, just confirm pass and confirm pass. Let's save and have a look. Yeah, Here I have first name, last name, username, and password and confirm password. Let's style this. So yeah, first of all, I am targeting the info form and making it as display flex because you can see it here as I am writing all the inputs inside this info form. So first of all, I am targeting this one. Okay. So inside the info form, I am making fluctuation column, content center, and the items also in the center with the gap of 2 rem. So let's save, and you can see it here that the items are now in the center. Okay, so for more, I'm targeting the every input inside the info form, that every input has the info input class. So yeah, it all will have border none, outline none, and the background of input color variable that we have in the CSS with the border radius, add pixels, padding, and the flex one. So what is the flex one is doing here? Flex one will convert the width of input to the total available space. Okay, so if there are two inputs, then both inputs will take equal space. If there is one input, then the one input will take the whole space. So if I save this, then you can see the results. Here you can see how beautiful it is looking. Okay, for more, I will say that the every div inside the info form will have a display flex, gap of 1 rem, height 2 rem, width of 90%. So you can see that this input is not taking the whole space, although we have made the flex one, because the div in which it is inside is not taking the whole space. Therefore, I am making it width 90%. And now if I save this, you can see this how beautiful is this looking. Okay, after this I am targeting the info button, but I just noticed that I forget to make a button and a span that we have inside the that we had inside the pre-built version. So what I will do, below this div I am making an other div, and in this div I am making a span which will say already have an account. Then what you do, then login. Okay, like this. So if I save this, and here, okay, so it is looking too much odd. I just simply write it as, and for more, I should also make a button for the login. So I will make a button with the class name of button, and it will just say sign up. Okay, just like this. Okay, I should make the type of this button submit, because we will submit the form. So yeah, just like this. Okay, now here we have this button. Okay, I am also giving this button and other class of info button that we want to change its styling manually. So again, I will go to the CSS here, making it with 6 rem, height 2 rem, and the align self at the flex end. Let's save this and now see. So how beautiful our sign up button is looking. So now we have to give the background color for our form, and some styling is more remaining that is very specific for this sign up form. So therefore I will not write that styling in the info form class, because I will use the info form class in the many other components, like in the edit details component, and there are still many other components. So what I will do, I will now target the auth form class that is specific for this sign up. Okay, you can here see this, the auth form. Inside the auth form, I am making background color of card color with a border radius 1 rem and a padding of 1 rem. Let's save, and now you can see. Okay, still there is something wrong, so I will target every div inside the authentication form, making its width 100%, item center, content center, and I think it will fix our issue. Yeah, so our sign up form is ready to use, and how beautiful it is looking now. The only thing remaining is just to style this span a little more. So what I will do, I will go here to this span, and yeah, I'm writing style with the font size of 12 pixels, just like this. Yeah, it's enough. Okay, similarly I will make the login form, and I am fast forwarding the video because login form is as simple as a sign up form. It just have less amount of inputs. So let's fast forward the video. So on the upper side, just below, just above the sign up form, I am pasting this login form. Okay, so I am just removing this link and the extra stuff that we are not covering in this video. So yeah, This is very simple login form, and now I am here targeting the login form, so I will say it as the login component. Let's save and have a look. So this is our login form. It's very easy to make, and here our span is saying don't have an account, then sign up, and sign up says if you have an account, then login. It's time to make the models that we seen in the pre-built version. So here I am just opening my profile page on the app.js. So I am commenting out this auth page and uncomment this profile page. Let's save. And here now we have our profile page. So I want when I click this pencil button, then a model should open that will ask me about edit my information that includes status, lives in, works at, username, name, and this description. Okay, so all this are. So what I am going to do, I will go to the profile page. Okay, so just to go to the definition. Okay, inside the profile page I have a profile left, so I will go to its definition. Inside profile left I have info card. Here inside info card I have here the UIL pen. Okay, below this I am going to make a model, but first making the model here I am making to make its component inside the component folder. So I will say it as profile model.jsx. Okay, so so inside this I am making a JSX file like profile model.jsx, and to make the models I am using a very useful library named as Mantine. Here you can see this library Mantine, and I am using the model component of this library. You can see here you can find a lot of components at very ease. Okay, so I am just using this model. Okay, I love this model, so I'm copying the whole code and just paste this here. Okay, so our all custom code will lie here. So here I make a form to input all my information, and the form will have a class name of info form that we already use in our login form. So basically in this form, first of all I am making an h3 heading which will say your info. Okay, so now how we will see this model. Okay, before I believe before making more inputs and more details in this form, first have a look on this form in our application. So to make this I will go to the info card. In info card I will make a use state, and use state will be like const, and it will say model opened, and the function will be set model opened. Okay, so this is the use state, so I should import it from React, and at the start is the state will be false. Okay, so model will be closed. Okay, so how we can open this model? On clicking this pen I will say on click. Okay, like this, fire a function, and what it function does, it will set the model open as true and just close this. Okay, so I should make the word wrap on. Here you can see on click I am firing a function set model open, so it will be true. Okay, as we know that the profile model should lie here, so here there will be a profile model. Okay, so it is not auto importing. Let's see why it's not auto importing. So if I have saved it, yeah, I have saved it. Okay, so here I have to make the function name as profile model, and I also have to export this function. So at the end I will say export default the profile model. Therefore it was not auto importing. Now I believe it will auto import. Yeah, so now it is auto imported. Okay, so to open this form I will pass the two parameters to it, model open, which will be equal to our use state model open, and similarly the set model open, which is also equal to our use state function set model open. Let's format the code. Okay, so now I have to receive these two parameters in our model. So here I will say model open and set model open like this. Okay, so to make the control according to this use state hook, I will here make a parameter that is built in the maintain library, that open will be is equal to model open, that this model will be opened if the model open is true and will be closed if it is false. For more, I'll say on close what the model should do. The model will trigger a function, and a function will be same as set model open equal to the false. The function is coming from the parameters here. Okay, so now let's save this. Also, let's save this and have a look what happened in our application. When I click this, there is a model that is saying your info. How cool is this, and how easily we have made a model that is very cool in design. Okay, let's make the complete form inside this your info. So I will go to profile model, and below this h3 element I am making a div, and inside this div I am making an input with the class name of info input. Yeah, I assume info input like this, and this type will be text with the name of first name. Yeah, the placeholder will be also first name. So let's format the code. Okay, after this I just simply copy this and then paste this. Let's format again. Okay, here I will say it as the last name, and the placeholder should also be last name, like this. Now let's see how these two inputs are looking. If I open this, these two are the inputs. The reason why this input is outside the div, because I assume that okay, I should change the size of our model. So here I will say the size will be equal to the 55% of our total screen. So let's save, and now you can see our model is now looking pretty good in positioning. Okay, so as you can note that the next input is not in pair, so I will make a single div for it, and it will again, okay, I should just copy and paste this. So here I am pasting this and making its placeholder as works at, like this. Okay, let's remove this. After this, its name will be again works at and a class name of inform. Now let's make an other div. Okay, so here I am making an other div. It will again have the two inputs. So just like these two inputs, let's copy and paste this, and the first input will be the lives in. Okay, so I can say it as lives in, and its name is equal to the country. Similarly, the placeholder can also say the same thing, lives in, and like this. Okay, so still we have to make an other input. So yeah, these are a lot of inputs, and this will be the class name of similarly info input. Okay, my keyboard is really bad. It's too much bad. I'm thinking to change it for a long. I am unable to manage time for this. Okay, so by the way, the next input placeholder is relationship status. Okay, so relationship and then the status. Now just save this. Okay, let's have a look at our form in the application. If I click this, now I have to make two other inputs for uploading the cover image and the profile image. So inside the div I am writing profile image and making an input of type file, like this. The name of this input will be the profile image, like this, and the second one is the cover image. So making this input type also file, and with the name of cover image, like this. Let's save and see the results. Okay, here we have our two images. So at the end we have to make a button to update our information with the class name of button, and it will say update, like this. So let's save. Okay, I have to change the update CSS. So I can say it as info button, which we have already done. So yeah, now it's pretty cool to see. Our next model is the share model. When I click this, there should be a model which will carry this share component. So what I will do inside the components, I will make a share model like this, which will again contain a JSX. So share model.jsx. Inside the share model.jsx, again I will copy all of this maintain form, and okay, now I am just removing all of this form from here. Okay, and here I am just saying the post share component like this. Okay, now let's save this. Again, I have to make these two parameters accessible. So as we have this button inside the right side, so I will just simply go to the right side dot JSX, and yeah, all the process is same, so I can carry this process from info card. Okay, so just copying this use state from here, and inside the right side just pasting this one, and I should also have to import the use state hook. So yeah, a pretty same thing. After this, on clicking this share button, I want to make the model open, so as similar to this one. Okay, so yeah, I should just copy all of this stuff, and okay, so I just remove this one, and there is an error that the button should not be closed like this. Okay, so I have to import here the share model. So what I will do, I will say it here as the share model. Share model is again not accessible, so let's see. Okay, here I have to make it as share model, and also I have to export it as share model. Let's save it, and now it will be accessible. So just share model like this. Let's save this and have a look. If I click this, here I have our share component inside a model. So okay, on closing it's not, on clicking this it's not working. Let's see why it's not working for now. Okay, on close, the set model open will be the false. Okay, so the control will again go to the right side, which is containing model open false. So the problem is that the share model should be outside this button. Okay, it is an individual component. Now let's format the code and see if it's working. Yeah, now it is working very fine. So this is all about today's tutorial, which is the front end of a social media application. I know you are too much excited to complete this project. I request you to support the channel as much as you can. You know, I am always delivering the premium content for you guys, and this MERN stack application is going to be a fire on the YouTube. So let's subscribe the channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment about this video. Till next tutorial, goodbye.